Hello YouTube, my name is Agent Omega, and I do things. Today we're back with Nature's Beauty. Before we begin, I did try out some shaders a few days ago, and basically the consensus was that my graphics card is 3 years old, and it wasn't exactly top of the line back then. So unfortunately, although I really liked the CUDA shaders in particular, it just took up so many resources, and I was running like 24 frames per second without recording. So I figured that I'd prefer to give you guys like a smoother experience as opposed to, just choppy but incredibly pretty. But it was incredibly pretty. Like, you had all of the waves and just all of the lighting and the leaves just gently blowing. It was absolutely fantastic, and I sincerely hope that at some point I will get to show you guys that, but for now, we will just continue recording basically as we have been. So, the other thing of note is that I was watching Wells' series, and apparently there's the Antique Atlas in this mod pack, and I didn't know that when I started up Journey Map. So once I get the Antique Atlas, I'll probably remove Journey Map, but in the interim, I'm just going to keep using that because I think it'll save us time in the long run. Another thing I'd like to point out is that while I was waiting it for be daytime again, so that I could actually record, I chucked in some of this Murray pine around the edges, and I think that adds a little bit of a nicer border than just having the oak there originally. And the same thing up here, so it's basically just a color that works really well on both layers regardless of position. So I think that looks plenty fine. So my goals for today are probably to head back out over to the root thing over there. I probably should craft up another pickaxe or two before I do that. I also wanted to do the pulvis or the pulvis. I prefer pulvis because it's more of the Latin original pronunciation type dealio. But the problem is, I just have gravel. Like, I haven't had flint drop yet. And when I looked up flint, then the only way it seems that you can get it is from trading with a villager, and that requires an emerald and gravel. We have the gravel, we don't have the emerald. And we also don't have a villager. So I sincerely doubt I'm going to get that anytime soon. So ore doubling is a little bit out of our reach. The other thing is the Antique Atlas requires a compass and redstone. I'm just seeing if there's anything else I need while I'm here. Anything I can put away, like this andesite? Yes. So it requires a compass, which requires redstone, and that requires, of course, a lot of mining, which I'm not exactly prepared to do at this very moment. So I think first order of business is to craft up another chest. And then after that... Oh, I'm glad that actually works. So we'll probably just chuck all this stuff in here. We are going to plant these like right off the bat. I'm going to chuck in the wood planks because I'm not really going to be doing any building right now, though I do want these for production reasons. We're going to make up a couple more axes while I'm here. And now basically it's just to decide which I want to go after first. Do I want to try making the antique book, which will also require leather, and I haven't seen any leather dropping animals just yet. It's just been the peacocks and the snails, and neither of them have been particularly helpful. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to do. So find a sheep, find leather, find redstone, and find flint. So those are basically going to be my goals. First, I guess I'm going to head back in the direction... No, first I'm going to plant the things really close to here, because that'll be really nice. Just after I get this food. And... Ooh, Ooh, that's a really big oak tree. That is an incredibly weird and big oak tree. I'm not even going to deal with that just yet. Down here looks like it's just a hole. Maybe a creeper blew up there or something. So I think I'll probably cut down this oak tree here. And then... I'm not really sure what's optimal sapling placement. See, look at this. Again, we've got the blocky textures, and again, it's a funky sort of oak tree, but we don't have that over here. Can I get that one? Yes. Ooh, so there must have been some vines up in here that I was taking advantage of. Okay, so I do happen to have a ton of oak saplings. I'm not particularly worried about it. Okay, see, this is another good reason that I'm glad we still have Journey Map, because I almost got lost, and the starter base is right over there. So first we'll plant the ironwood saplings. I don't know how far away from other things this needs to be, so I'll plant it right on the corner there, and probably also like right here, because that's nice and de-elevated. I do kind of like that it's showing this, or it's replacing the saplings with just more saplings automatically, so that is nice. I'm just going to come on over this way. It's probably far enough away. And please give me the Murray Pine, because that is actually the nicest texture of those three, I think. That's, of course, personal opinion. I'm sure the others are good for other builds, but with the current thing that I'm working on, you know, it's like the dark is better. I'm just trying to be really careful with this placement, because sometimes trees won't grow if they're within, like, 2 blocks of something else. I think that's good for now. Soggy Garden. I don't know how to harvest Pam's Harvest Craft stuff, so I'll probably look that up. That is another order of business. Between this episode and the next one, unless I record it today, then I'll probably take a look at the mod list, and I'll do some fact-finding and see what capabilities we have before just kind of blindly stumbling around, so that I can avoid another mishap with the Antique Atlas stuff. Just gonna grab some more food, and then it's about to be night time again, so I'll probably wait to head out until afterwards. You know, I kind of want to move this sugar cane, but I'll probably pop away for a bit, and then I'll catch up with you guys afterward. Okay, guys, we are back. So you can see that the trees I've planted have fully grown. This is the Murray Pine, so I'm going to go ahead and take down some of these. That wood pile, I decided to go back there, and guess who wasn't? That is right, folks. The zombie villager that was over there is no longer there. So I guess either I killed him, or it was a graphical thing, perhaps? So just reloading apparently did the trick. Okay, so the pines actually branch out. Go figure. That makes sense. And I think I'm only going to grab one of these for now, because it's not like I need a whole lot of pine at this very moment. But I think in lieu of darkwood, at least I think that's how you pronounce that word. Liu? I think it's liu. In lieu of dark oak, we're going to use the pine as sort of our framing for the roof. So that's why I need at least some of this stuff. I'll probably need to chop down another tree later, but I just kind of wanted to come over here and, just show a progress report. So we've got all of our Murray pines over there. That is a cedar there, and all the way up at the top is an ironwood tree. So you can see that it's got like a really dark trunk, kind of funky appearance. I'm really quickly going to head back to the wood pile because I want to get rid of that sooner rather than later. And on the way over, you'll kind of see that I built out the back deck a little bit more. I also switched out the side slabs for the Murray pine, and come to think of it, I'll probably do it with this edging here as well. Because I think that just looks better, like it looks more framed, so I'll probably do that once I head back here. You can see that I've also brought the stairs down to this level again, so I'm hoping that I'll be building out the farm as well as one of our next orders of business, but we've got plenty of food in the form of apples at the moment, so I'm not particularly worried about that just yet. Yeah, so that's that. Until that wood pile is gone, or rather until the remainder of the root is gone, then I kind of want to keep working on that because it's just a lot of oak, and we kind of need that much oak for all of our framework and stuff. And considering that oak is like super common, I'd say it's definitely one of those things where if we end up having a surplus of oak logs afterwards, we'll totally just end up using that for all of our crafting needs, specifically like sticks, any wood tools, which isn't terribly likely, any other recipes requiring wood. You get the idea. So I'm going to keep cracking on with this, and then I'll probably catch you after another time lapse. Ooh, and one note is that the bird nests over there, you can just sort of right-click on them, and they'll remain intact. So I have a sneaking suspicion that they are a fully renewable source for these eggs. So if I just sort of leave them alone for a while, I bet you they'll spawn more eggs. So that's why you want to be careful chopping down trees in Minecraft. And, well, also kind of IRL too. Except IRL, generally, you don't eat the bird eggs that you get. Yeah, I have no idea where I was going with that. So, I will catch you guys after a little bit of a brief time skip. Hey guys, we are currently on the Begets server in the creative mode area, and basically I took a break to play some vanilla with my parents, and I ended up sort of prototyping the rest of the house for Nature's Beauty. So, you can see the obvious things are we added a roof, and I think, kind of with this combination of slopes that I've got going on here, it almost looks oriental. So in a future build that I'll probably end up doing at some point, I'll just sort of extend that slope out a little bit here, and I think we'll have a nice curve for sort of like a Japanese house. But on this house, obviously, we've got the different wood palettes going on. So for more Japanese build, we'd probably have like a red or maybe slate or sort of stone roof palette. But yeah, I think it looks plenty fine. I really like how it works, just sort of on all of the sides. And of course, we have this nice place where it meets up in the top. You can see on each of the windows I've added trapdoors. These ones I added by placing a block in the window itself and then adding the trapdoors on the outside. This will be really easy to do on our front and rear because we have the balconies, but the sides we're going to definitely need some scaffolding for that. Over here we have this sort of window planter. We may or may not have that in Nature's Beauty, depending upon how easy it is to make the grass grow on top of, like the dirt blocks. Like if we need to have a chain going from the mainland up to here, how long will that take? It also depends upon what flowers we get, because I don't want to just have more of the stuff that's in the swamp. And of course, we've also got these trapdoors here, but they don't open the same direction as those ones over there. So these are like basically purely aesthetic. We just want them to be like that all the time. So in here, obviously, you can see that we don't have our balconies or decks, as it were. So I kind of just chucked in this grass path here, and we have some gray carpet. You'll notice that the doors are on the inside block. On Nature's Beauty, they're on the outside one. Until I find something like a doormat, like this gray carpet, I'm just going to leave them as they are on Nature's Beauty. In here you can see that I've moved the chests, the crafting benches, and the furnaces to this sort of layout. I think that provides sort of nice framing for these chests here, and we've just got a whole lot more functionality down this way. Up here, I have added a bed and a desk, and a chair, and I don't know if we'll have the desk and the chair anytime soon. I hope to have the bed soon, if not, this particular color, then at least a red one. You can see that we've also got some fences going on in here for the corners. The oak blocks are primarily actually part of the roof itself. In here, we've got sort of this spruce birch thing going on. The spruce is supposed to act as like sort of a support for the rest of the roof, where the birch is just sort of an accent color. And that is pretty much it for up here. Of course, you can see the windows are more or less fully functional. I hope in Nature's Beauty that they both open simultaneously, kind of like the double doors, but I sincerely doubt that as well. Out the back, I've also prototyped what the farm is going to look like. So if you can imagine for a bit, the deck goes out to about here. Then we've got stairs in between these two vertical oak logs. And on Nature's Beauty, we'll only have this middle square going on here because, we'll already be surrounded by swamp water, so we won't need like a channel containing the water. And we'll have this 2x2 infinite water source in the middle, because not only do I think it looks nice, I think, it'll also be functional, and it provides like this corner of water over here. And you'll notice that we've taken sort of a big chunk out of it for the path, but at the same time, I think it would be kind of silly to extend the farmland all the way out to here and then kind of precariously walk around the edge of this water source here, especially when in this world, we've got a dirt bottom like directly below it, but in Nature's Beauty, the swampland might go who knows how deep, and I intend to put some fencing around bits of it too. Just so we don't fall in by mistake or let in any mobs. So like I said, we'll have fencing in this internal square here. We'll still have each of the quadrants. One will definitely be for wheat. One hopefully will be for cotton. One might be for the wild carrots, because I know we have some of those. And I haven't really figured out what the fourth one is going to be just yet. But time will tell. Time will tell. So that is basically everything that I wanted to show you on the vanilla part. I will have a question later because I also experimented with some chisels and bits. So it's basically just, do I want to do purely vanilla stuff? Do I want to do chisels and bits stuff? Or do I want some mixture of both? So I'll definitely have a poll on screen later. For now, that is about it on the vanilla world. Hey guys, so bit of a funny story. I actually recorded this outro segment earlier, and I was really pleased with how it turned out, and I started editing all my sound files, and I began exporting MP3s and stuff, and then I took a look in my video folder, and this last clip hadn't recorded because I forgot to turn on fraps. Apologies. So basically, we're just going to do that outro now while I'm thinking about it. And so this is all everything just time shifted a few hours later. And unfortunately, this means that you'll be getting this episode tomorrow on Sunday, or Monday if you're watching in another time zone, instead of, well, today. So, really sorry about that. But let us take a look at the stuff that I got up to earlier. So this is our farm, and basically we have the 4 plots in the corners as anticipated. We've got wheat over here. We've got tomatoes over here. Oh, and it looks like they've grown a little bit. They basically grow up these wooden stakes, and they can grow up to 3 tall, so that is why we've got them up to 3. Eventually, I hope to have sort of these tomato plants in rows. Like over here, we've got our grape plants, except I don't actually have any rope. And so basically, I need to just string rope between these wooden stakes, and then that's when this will start to grow. So until I manage to get there, I'm a bit out of luck. I hate when that happens. The weird thing is, like, these grape plants are standable, or rather, they're only like a block tall, so you can easily just hop up onto them. And unfortunately, that means, you know, hopping back down is a bit of a hazard. So I just need to really carefully walk through these areas. And last but not least, this corner, unfortunately, I haven't found any cotton. Yes, that is definitely something I'm looking for, because cotton can be made into string, and string can be made into wool or rope or bows and all that whatnot, so it would be really nice to get cotton going just so I can get, you know, like this stuff going too. Now, the other thing I worked on a bit is that we've got sort of part of the design from the vanilla ported in. Obviously, I haven't gotten around to like these back windows or the side windows, but I've got the front windows done, and I also mucked around with chisels and bits. So you can see up there in the middle, we've got a circular window, and I basically just carved that all out from birch blocks, and then I added a little bit of accent out of the pine and some oak in front of it as a bit of a cross guard type thing, or whatever you would call it. So basically my question to you guys is, do I want to stick with the purely vanilla style and then like have nothing in the middle there? Or do I want to make all of the windows chisels and bits, which is really time consuming, so I really hope you guys don't pick that one. Or do I do like a mixture of them, so you know we've got the vanilla windows like this, and then we've got the chisels and bits only on, you know, like once per side. Or do I like totally pick a different design entirely? Because I really like how this window turned out a little bit, and maybe what I could do is just add a little bit of edging around these. So even though the trapdoors are all vanilla style, I think just maybe adding some sort of an accent like this all the way around would look really nice. And also, just as a note, adding on stuff I feel like is a lot easier than trying to hollow out a circle like I did in the middle of that block. And also of note, these are 2-block center, and this is an odd block center. In other words, you know, I've got this dead center in the middle of my build, so I had to hollow out some from like one birch block and some from another birch block, and it got really messy really fast. And I've got 2 little birch bits that I'm not really sure where they came from and what I should do with them. So that is about that. And the last item of note is that I also made one of these ground traps. You basically put fruit bait in them, and they're supposed to get rabbits. And the rabbits can be used to create leather. So hopefully we'll be getting the antique atlas or the ancient atlas sooner rather than later. Basically, this will just make it so that I don't have to actively search for leather toting animals such as cows or pigs and stuff like that. And it's really simple too. You know, you just need a bit of string, and you need these berries from over here, and once you have some of those, you can make the fruit bait and you chuck them into this trap, and it's supposed to work. Ham's Harvest Craft, I've used the fishing trap before, and I feel like they've generated a lot faster than that. So I'm kind of a little bit leery that it hasn't actually given me a rabbit yet, but, you know, we'll just keep on playing it through. So, for the remainder of the outro, I'm just going to pop out back because it's a little bit safer with all of the fenced-in areas. But that is all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please leave a like. If you have any comments about stuff you want to see in Nature's Beauty or the build style, please leave that in the comments section. And of course, if you pick other for that poll that is theoretically somewhere in the upper right corner, then leave your suggestion for that in the comments as well. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications if you want to be notified when I post something new. And with that, I will catch you all on the flip side. Thanks for watching.